Hello skaters, whether you're an inline skater, an ice skater, whatever kind of skater, this video is meant for you. It is maybe the most common question that I get here on the YouTube channel, on Instagram as well, is how do you actually warm up, or how should I warm up for skating, whether that's ice skating or inline skating. So I decided to make a video where I share not just how I do it, but also my best recommendation on how you should actually warm up. I think we often underestimate how intense a sport it is to do either inline skating or ice skating, and also how much it demands in terms of range of motion and how unnatural to some extent the movements we do actually are. So I do think by not just warming up, but activating the right muscle groups, dialing in the mental focus, you can improve and get so much more out of each skating section or session. So today, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take you through the different stages of what I think is the ideal warm-up. And we're gonna start right here with the cardio. It is important to elevate your muscle temperature, your core body temperature. I even use a device called Core that measures the core body temperature as I warm up until I get to almost 38 Celsius, which is a lot in terms of difference because I started out at high 36 or 37.0. So the way I would do it, I would either warm up on the bike or I would run for 10 to 15 minutes at a steady aerobic pace just for the body temperature to elevate, because that's gonna allow us to both perform better but also get through the rest of the warm-up, say the stretches we're about to do or the skating specific exercises, get through those in a good way. So 10 to 15 minutes of zone, what we consider zone 1 to zone 2 aerobic, either biking or running. Biking is nice because we use very much the same muscle groups as we do when we're skating. On the other hand, running is also great because you activate more muscle groups. It's easier to elevate the heart rate, but if you're not used to running, 15 minutes can already start making you a little sore in the shins, the calves, and so on. So that comes down to personal preference. For racing, I prefer the bike because I have the wattage and I'm just gotten used to it. So I would start out with 10 to 15 minutes of aerobic and then move on to some higher intensity, especially if it's a race. I would go, my preferred protocol is 2 minutes at zone 4, almost zone 5. So for me, that would be 400 watts for 2 minutes, 2 times. And that really gets me in, say, not the red, but the high yellow orange zone, simply just to get the legs going, feel a lactic acid touch before I move on to the actual workout. So when you're done with that, that should take about 15 to 20 minutes total. It's time to hop off the bike or end the running and move on to dynamic stretching. So the reason I say dynamic stretching is because you get the same benefits that you would with longer stretches, say like the holds you may be used to from, I don't know, sports in school, where you hold it for 30 to 60 seconds. However, that's also going to extend your muscle fiber and you will not feel the same explosiveness, or you may even feel a little soft as you skate after. So I would save those for the late evenings or recovery days. Therefore, dynamic stretches. So that could be anything, but just try and really, touch on all the areas that you feel in skating. So it could be things like this. Open up the hip flexors. And then if you want to get even more out of it, elevate the other arm to really stretch here. So that's one good way, but just make sure you touch all those areas. Another good one for the hip flexor is this one, and then get down and touch here. That also stretches in the back here. So now we got those. Could do similar things to touch the rear end, like small digs down like this. If you also want to activate the shins a little, you can do like that, and you're gonna feel it on this shin, and here, you're gonna feel it here. So those are nice ones. Same for the upper body. I like to do a little walk like this. Now I demonstrate these quickly, but if you do these before a competition or workout, you ought to do many repetitions. I do say this one 15 times on each side. Same goes for the walk here. Same goes for the reaches. So it is kind of a lot actually. Next thing, I would also really just try and open up the hip area. We've got different ones such as this one. Same with out to the side here. Really just to get everything loosened up, but make sure you don't do static holds. Keep it moving. Now, another good one that's a little more skating specific, basically a crossover imitation, but with more stretching, is this one, where you go all the way down, you can sit. It's also one that I really recommend. You can also do it if you really want to wake up balance-wise. Do where you take the leg up, go down in position here, and then as you move up, you bring this up. That gives a really good stretch. And then from this, you add a little more intensity, I would say. It's another good one that I like. It's where you dive down here, and then you feel a stretch here, and then as you come up, it will also warm up this muscle, trust me. You move around here and continue to do it. Super nice exercise as well that just gets it a little more dynamic. Now, when you're done with all dynamic stretching, this is where we move towards something that is a little more skating-ish. So activate things that you want to work on specifically, or things, I mean, a great one, a lot of people skate with their knees a little in. So a good way to get better at that is by activating the outside here. You can do some things with elastic bands, or I really like to do leg raises to the side, slow those down. Great way to activate. Even get into position and do the same activation from down here. Those are super nice. Circles, great way also to activate that. So a lot of these things that are your specific challenges. This is also the time to say you have any sore muscles, roll those out with a little ball. I use my tent stick, those are great. And then once you got those activation things, this is where it becomes specific to skating. Now, just to give you an idea how long all of this should actually take, we're talking 15 to 20 minutes of the cardio section, the body temperature elevation, and then 10 minutes of dynamic stretching, 5 minutes of adaptation or specific muscle activation, and then another 10 minutes of skating exercises. So we're talking to including putting on your skates and whatnot. This is a full hour. So we are pretty serious about our warm-up, and this is not me being psychotic. This is how it works for most professional skaters. Anyways, the next one, specific skating. If you have a burn board, if you don't, you better get one. It is a fantastic tool. I use this for my training, my warm-ups, simply because it is a super nice way to do things at a controlled pace. You probably see me on my channel here, glide back and forth. The reason I like the burn board is because it is very cheap and it glides well, and it's also significantly lighter. You can adjust the length. Big plus for me because I can use it for intense things, chill things. You can also use it regardless of your age and level, because you can simply just adapt the length of it, which I really like. I'll leave a link below in the description. It's a package. You get everything with it. You get the socks, the booties to glide back and forth, a little spray that makes sure it glides as if it was brand new for, well, I had this one for more than a year already. I see no difference. So definitely shout out to those. Another cool thing that can help you get warm, the wear bands. These are fantastic. You also see me use these a lot. You attach them around the waist, and then these bands add extra resistance. And that is just a nice way to get through your warm-up a lot faster, and also, trust me, you'll feel them when you wear them. They activate muscles. All right, skating specific stuff. You know these from my channel. It's all the different dryland exercises. The kill zone, the imitation, and then gradually you do more and more rhythmic stuff. And if it's a hard or a fast race, I would even do some high intensity, say max skate jumps or running accels. And at that point, you're warm and you're good to go. You pop on your skates. My best recommendation for as you're on the skates, as a final little warm up, this might be tricky on inlines because you don't always have the track availability, but on ice and inline, if possible, what I would do is I would go for 5 minutes of steady skating, super chill, just to get the feel of the skates, the feel of the ice, the feel of the wheels. And then I would do 1xL, technical, but still pretty fast. And then about 10% of my race duration at race speed. So say if I'm skating a 500 meter, I would skate 50 meters at basically my max. Whereas if I'm skating a 5 kilometer, say on ice, that would be 12.5 laps. I would do a little more than a lap at that speed. And then just take a deep breath, zip up my suit, and get in position, and then go for it. That was my warm-up suggestion, warm-up video, best advice here. It's what I do myself. Been trying to perfect this over, I don't know, 10, 15 years of professional skating. So I hope that can help you a little. If you want more specific advice on how to train, talking dryland, or just inline skating, I have 5 different training plans that you can download below. They're $50 each and you have lifetime access. Put a lot of effort into those and I just hope they can help you out. So give them a try. There's even a free trial version, so hit the link. And if you don't want to hit that link, at least hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more skating videos. I'm Victor and this was fun.